Closing deals is a skill everyone must learn in your lifetime. Whether you're closing sales, attracting talent to your company, or even finding a girlfriend or boyfriend, you need to master the art of closing. Therefore, closing deals is everywhere. So how exactly do you close a deal? When discussing closing, we must first explore this question: is the method of closing more important? Or is the belief in closing more important? Many people learn various closing methods, such as the comparison closing method, the puppy love technique, the assumptive closing method, and the results-driven closing method. But I want to tell you that closing methods are actually not that important. Belief accounts for 80%, and methods only account for 20%. Because if you lack the belief in closing deals, even if I teach you 108 methods for closing deals, you won't be able to use a single one. However, if I instill a few closing beliefs in you today, without teaching you any methods, you can generate countless methods to use yourself. So, I will now share a few extremely important closing beliefs. You must listen to these beliefs repeatedly, memorize them repeatedly, and repeatedly implant them into your mind and subconscious. Then you will definitely become a master of closing deals. First, I have 100% faith in myself, 100% faith in my company, and 100% faith in my product. Faith is the cornerstone of a sale. If you don't even believe in your own company and product, how can you sell it? The second belief is that the key to closing a sale lies in closing the sale. When you think about closing a sale, you must achieve results. The third statement is that only a complete sale can truly help them. Then, the next statement is to love them is to close the sale. Everything in closing a sale is for love. Fifth, every sale begins after 5 rejections. Sixth, not buying is their loss. When we first go to a customer to sell, if we don't have faith, if we don't trust them, if we don't even believe in ourselves, then the customer simply won't believe in us. When you talk to a customer, they might refute you, right? The customer might refuse you, right? At this point, you need to instill the second belief in yourself. The key to closing a sale lies in closing the sale. I'm here to close the sale, so I can't give up. I must continue to close the sale. What if they still resist? You need to tell yourself that only a complete sale can truly help them. What if they still refuse you? You need to cultivate this belief in yourself. If you love someone, you must close the deal. My love for you is unrelated to you. Everything in closing a deal is for love. What if he still rejects you? You need to tell yourself that every sale begins after 5 rejections. He rejected me 4 times, but I will continue to close the deal. Did you know that 80% of salespeople in the world give up after 1 or 2 rejections? And only 20% persist in following up with a customer after 5 rejections? Most customers will compare prices and only choose to buy after more than 5 rejections. So do you know the result? The result is that 20% of people generate 80% of the sales. In other words, if you give up on a customer after 1 rejection, sorry. You are cultivating a potential customer for someone else. Therefore, you must establish this belief in yourself. Every sale begins after 5 rejections. What if he still rejects you? Establish this belief in yourself. Not buying is his loss. I will move on to the next customer. When you have these beliefs, everyone can become a top-notch salesperson. Here's another top secret method for closing deals, allowing you to close deals with anyone, anytime, anywhere. First, step out of your own world. Many of us fail to close deals because we keep talking about things the customer doesn't want, things we want to say instead of what they want to hear. Second, enter the other person's world. Third, begin a dialogue with their inner self. Fourth, bring them to the edge of their world. Fifth, bring them into your world. When you bring the customer into your world, you can close the deal any way you want. They'll be completely led by the nose. The core of this is, remember, selling yourself is more important than selling the product. Instead of telling the customer how great the product is, focus on how well you connect with them. If they trust you, they'll naturally buy your product. Selling yourself is more important than selling the product, but selling your company is more important than selling yourself. No matter how good you are, you're still just an individual. You need to cultivate a high-end image for your company. For example, portray it as large-scale, an industry benchmark, and trustworthy. If customers have complete faith in your company, they will genuinely choose to buy your products. Selling a story is more effective than selling the company itself. Every good product needs a story behind it. This is called corporate brand culture. Selling a dream is better than selling a story, and selling a mission is better than selling a dream. Simply telling a customer about your product is too simplistic. We should directly tell customers about our dreams and our mission. This immediately wins them over. The highest level of closing a deal is the mission-driven closing method. After explaining your mission, you already won over the other party, and they will choose to follow. When you truly internalize these beliefs, everyone can become a master salesperson. You must dare to close deals with customers. If you don't dare to close, everything is in vain. Here's a short story. An insurance salesman told his friend about the benefits of insurance for 2 months straight, but his friend didn't buy from him. Then, he went to his friend's house and discovered that his friend had already bought insurance from his colleague. He was very surprised. He said, "I've been explaining insurance to you for 2 months, and you still haven't bought from me. Why did you buy from someone else?" His friend was also angry. "You know what? You explained the benefits of insurance to me for 2 months, and I thought insurance was great, but you didn't sell me anything." Then, a while ago, he met someone who said he could buy insurance from them, and so he bought it. So the key to closing a deal is closing the deal. You have to dare to close the deal. If you don't dare to close the deal, it's because you lack confidence in yourself, your product, and your company. Really, only when you learn to close a deal will you truly become wealthy. Learning to close a deal is the first step to becoming wealthy. Closing deals with people, closing deals with customers, everything you want can be achieved through closing deals. So start learning to close deals with customers today. Every morning when you wake up, tell yourself, "I am a born closing master. I am the god of closing deals. I am the god of sales." Once everyone learns sales, applying it to your own business can easily increase performance by 3 to 5 times.